Hi there. Now we're going to do review number 4, and this is the introduction. Now we review again, this time aware that we are preparing for the second part of learning how the truth can be applied. Today, we will begin to concentrate on readiness for what will follow next. Such is our aim for this review and for the lessons following. Thus, we review the recent lessons and their central thoughts in such a way as will facilitate the readiness that we would now achieve. So the lessons that we have been reading thus far, which have been 140 lessons, the last several lessons, we're going to be reviewing those. Again, because the course, 365 lessons, all build on one another, so we're being made ready for what is coming next. Paragraph 2, as part of the introduction still. There is a central theme that unifies each step in the review we undertake, which can be simply stated in these words: my mind holds only what I think with God. We're preparing ourselves to acknowledge that we can hold only what we think with God, that we can let go of all thoughts that are not of God. We have the power to think only with God. So we're going to be affirming that my mind holds only what I think with God. That's a central theme. That is a fact and represents the truth of what you are and what your Father is. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, because God is thinking of us. So therefore, my mind holds only what I think with God. If God thinks us and thinks us as love, thinks us as joy, thinks us as powerful, as peace, as abundance, as wellness, then that is the thinking that is inside of us that we must receive as the truth of who we are. So let me read sentence number 4 again in paragraph 2. It is this thought by which the Father gave creation to the Son, establishing the Son as co-creator with himself. It is this thought that fully guarantees salvation to the Son, which means my mind holds only what I think with God. So God thought me with everything that is magnificent. Therefore, I have that same thought in me. I am magnificent. I am powerful as God created me. So this is why this is the thought that saves us, because once we admit and acknowledge how God created us, we are tapping into that same mind that created us so we can co-create with God. And that is the thought that fully guarantees our salvation, period. Sentence number 6 in paragraph 2. For in his mind no thoughts can dwell but those his Father shares. So our mind really truly only has the thoughts that God thinks of us. We have blocked those thoughts when we think our own thoughts. So we need to stop thinking our own thoughts, our ego thoughts, our thoughts of separation, so that we can receive the truth that is already in there. Sentence number 7, lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from his awareness. So we got to forgive ourselves for putting power outside of us, for believing in separation, for making ourselves God over God, which means that we are making ourselves our own authority, creating our ego and believing our own thinking, not accepting God's thinking, which is the same for everybody. So we're moving out of the sense of specialness that I know more than the other person or I know less than somebody else. We're all going to come to know the same thing because God thought the same thing of every one of us. Yet, it is true forever. So let me read this again. Sentence number 7, paragraph 2. Lack of forgiveness blocks this thought from our awareness. Yet, it is true forever. It is forever true that the truth is in us always. Paragraph 3. Let us begin our preparation with some understanding of the many forms in which the lack of true forgiveness may be carefully concealed. We're going to begin to look at the insidious ways the ego operates. Because they are illusions, they are not perceived to be but what they are. Defenses that protect your unforgiving thoughts from being seen and recognized. This is what blocks us from being able to practice true forgiveness. Is our righteousness, is our need to be right about how we've been wronged, our need to be right about the things that other people did wrong. This defense is what we need to look at, because it's what makes us not want to forgive ourselves. It's what makes us want to hold on to our judgments, to our righteousness, and to all of the ways that we blame others and hold guilt about ourselves. So we need to do this work and get down to the nitty-gritty of the insidious way the ego operates. Sentence number 3, paragraph 3. Their purpose is to show you something else and hold correction off through self-deception made to take its place. So all unforgiving thoughts is a form of self-deception that you have to come to the place one day where you decide that it's okay to be wrong, because you want to receive healing, you want to receive truth, you want to receive wholeness, that you will no longer hold your mind apart from God's, and that no matter how you hold beliefs in defenses and righteousness, but they did this, let go of evidence. When you're willing to be that honest about your dishonest thoughts, that is that's a game changer. That is when you're going to let yourself really truly begin the process of receiving salvation. Paragraph 4. And yet your mind holds only what you think with God. Your self-deception cannot take place of truth. So no matter how much you are deceiving yourself about how you're weak or how you're strong, better or lesser than somebody else, no matter how much you say that to you, it does not change your equality with God and with everybody else, because God's idea of you are God's ideas of everybody. No more than can a child who throws a stick into the ocean change the coming and going of the tides, the warming of the water by the sun, the silver of the moon on it by night. So do we start each practice period in this review with readying our minds to understand the lesson that we read and see the meaning that they offer us. So Jesus is letting us know this is a process that takes time. We have been doing 140 lessons to get us to where we are. We have quite a few more lessons to go. We have a bunch of lessons. So we're still preparing our mind little by little to get to the place of totally, completely recognizing that our mind holds only what we think with God. Paragraph 5. Begin each day with time devoted to the preparation of your mind to learn what each idea you will review that day can offer you in freedom and in peace. Open your mind and clear it of all thoughts that would deceive, and let this thought alone engage it fully and remove the rest. My mind holds only what I think with God. We are stating the truth. We're faking it till we make it. We are saying it until we believe it. We're saying it so that it's the seed of this truth is planted in our mind, so that we can be receptive to it possibly being true until we can come in and feel it in our hearts. Sentence number 4. 5 minutes with this thought will be enough to set the day along the lines which God appointed, and to place His mind in charge of all the thoughts that you will receive today. Basically, we're saying, God, I want you to think for me. I only want what you think. Do you realize how much courage that takes for you not to be thinking your own thoughts and instead accept God's thinking? We're basically having to surrender our idea of I know everything and what I know is right. We have to let all that go. We have to be humble enough to enter into the place of saying, on my own, I know nothing. But the mind of God that created me and all of its infinite wisdom is inside of me. Let me listen to that voice instead. Powerful, powerful, courageous work here. Paragraph 6. They will not come from you alone, for they will all be shared with Him. These are the thoughts with God. And so each one will bring the message of His love to you, to me, returning messages of our love to God. So will communion with the Lord of hosts be yours, as He Himself has willed it be. And as His own completion joins with Him, so will He join with you who are complete as you unite with Him and He with you. This is a journey of communion. We're coming into union with God. We are letting go of our small thinking. We're letting go of our ideas and separation of our righteousness, and we are humbly saying, 1, I belong to God. 2, I only want to know what God knows. 3, I am willing to take direction from God because I know that God knows what's best for me. Why? Because God only offers love, wholeness, wellness, goodness, abundance. You can look at your life and all the examples of the things that you've done that didn't give you that, maybe temporarily. Why would you want to continue to trust in the mind that gives you temporary things, which is our ego mind, our thinking mind, and not go to accessing the mind of God that created the whole universe and never fails? Isn't this amazing? We have to be humble, truly humble. And to be humble, we have to have courage to admit we didn't know what we didn't know. Sentence number 7. After your preparation, merely read each of the 2 ideas assigned to you to be reviewed that day. So every day we're going to be given 2 ideas. That's all that we need to be reading. So there is a lesson and then there's 2 ideas. Then close your eyes and say them slowly to yourself. There is no hurry now, for you are using time for its intended purpose. We're using time to undo what took time to create. We're using time. We're going to go slow and take time to let go of all of the years of conditioning, all of the thousands of years, generational conditioning that has affected the mind of humanity. We're going to use a little bit of time, deliberate time, to undo all of that stuff that took for a long time to get created. So don't hurry through this. Well, sentence number 3, paragraph 7, there is no hurry now, for you are using time for its intended purpose. Let each word shine with the meaning God has given it. God has given a meaning to every one of these words that we're going to be using. We need to let ourselves feel that meaning as it was given to you through his voice, that voice of the Holy Spirit inside. Let each idea which you review that day give you the gift that he has laid in it for you to have of him. So Jesus is giving us these amazing statements, which are a gift from God to us. If we can receive these statements, we're receiving the greatest gift we could possibly ever receive. And we will use no format for our practicing but this. Paragraph 8, each hour of the day, bring to your mind the thought with which the day began and spend a quiet moment with it. Then repeat the 2 ideas you practice for the day unhurriedly, with time enough to see the gifts that they contain for you and let them be received where they were meant to be. Now, for me, what I did is I used to put these statements inside of my phone with a timer so that I could be able to have them ready no matter where I was. They would come up on my phone. So you can do it any way you want to. Paragraph 9, we add no other thoughts, but let these be the messages that they are. We need no more than this to give us happiness and rest, an endless quiet, perfect certainty, and all our Father wills that we receive as the inheritance we have of him. We are moving to the place that we are claiming our inheritance, our goodness, our wholeness, our joy. Isn't this exciting? Each day of practicing as we review, we close as we began, repeating first the thought that made the day a special time of blessing and of happiness for us, and through our faithfulness restored the world from darkness to light, from grief to joy, from pain to peace, from sin to holiness. We are shifting from fear to love, from ego to God. And we are lifting our vibration from the density and the darkness of the fears and the ego to the light, to the higher vibration, the high frequency of love, of joy, of peace, of truth. Paragraph 10, God offers thanks to you who practice thus the keeping of his word. And as you give your mind to the ideas for the day again before you sleep, his gratitude surrounds you in the peace wherein he wills you be forever, and are learning now to claim again as your inheritance. Isn't this a beautiful promise? This is like a letter from God to us, saying nothing more than, My beloved son and daughter, please accept the truth that has been true always. Please accept your birthright. I have given you the keys to the kingdom. Please receive it. Stop thinking your own silly thoughts and receive the truth that is yours and has been yours forever. Stop wasting time and dilly-dallying with your ego and begin to receive the treasure that has been waiting for you forever. Isn't this wonderful? So that was just the introduction to the review. We will do the lessons next. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.